their attitude is, well, we're a dime a dozen, and they don't have to sign anything. They can just go get somebody else.
Great. So then, Marla, here's what happens. If they don't want to sign anything, when you say sign anything, you mean hire you as their agent?
Yes, a buyer's agency agreement, so I can represent them.
Marla, the reason why they're taking that attitude is because that would be let me give you the other attitude that's similar. That a FSBO says, I don't need an agent. I can just have agents show my house and bring buyers, or I can sell it myself. So yes, a buyer may say to you, you agents are a dime a dozen, so I don't have to hire you, just like a seller does. So what does that mean, Marla? Does that mean you don't get buyer's agency and you don't get listings? You have to, the reason why a buyer would say that to you, Marla, is because you haven't established value for them to hire you. Just like you haven't established value to a seller to list with you. So the answer is you just don't do what they want, which is, okay, I'm going to just work for free, and I'm going to do open houses for FSBOs, or I'm going to show a FSBO, and I'm not going to have buyers hire me. I'm just going to run my business that way. You could do that, but Marla, you'll go broke because you have no commitment. In other words, Marla, think about it, darling. You're more committed to the buyer than they are to you. Why in God's name would you be more committed to a buyer than they are to you? Why would you spend your time, which time is money? Why would you spend it away from your family to work for people who aren't committed to you?
True.
Are you hearing me, Marla?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you.
And by the way, I'm saying this passionately with love, not with anger, right? I want you to really feel what they're doing to you, Marla. They want you to be more committed to them and to spend your time, your energy, your money. But hey, I'm not going to respect you and give the same amount of commitment to you. That ain't right. True. And you should stop, and you should stop letting buyers abuse you like that. So here's how you do it, Marla. You've got to take a stand for your business model. Everybody listen to what I'm saying. You're building a business. You are not salespeople. You are business people. A business person manages their self-promotion, manages their money, manages their clients. They do marketing, repeat business, referral business, customer service. Gang, we are, you know what? Here's an analogy I haven't used in a while. When you have a restaurant, because I love food, so I like to use restaurant analogy. You have all these different people to have a restaurant work. You have the hostess, you've got the chef, you've got the maitre d' perhaps, you got the busboy, you got the cook, and then by the way, there's the sous chef, and then there's the master chef, and then you have the bookkeeper, you've got the market, you've got all of these different people that make a restaurant successful. And each individual is a different skill set. Like the chef's skill set is different from the bookkeeper's skill set, and which is different from the waiter's skill set. In real estate, hear me, gang, we got to be skilled at everything. We got to be the cook, the server, the hostess, the marketer, the bookkeeper. But you are a business person. You got to decide, what does your business look like? What is the standards of operation, standard operating procedures, and how you run your business? And here's how I'm encouraging all power agents that are listening to me. You should stop working for free. When a buyer wants to look at a house, don't show them a house without there first being a clear understanding of the relationship between the two of you. And just like you would go on a listing appointment and you have a conversation to show a homeowner the value that you are when they hire you, you need to do the same thing with a buyer. You need to sit down with that buyer. And I've taught you how to do this, by the way. We have a training on how to do the buyer conversation. When you first sit down with the buyer, it's called the 6-step buying process. Step 1 is I want to inform you a little bit about myself. The reason why I want to do that for you, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, because it's an important decision. I want you to feel comfortable and work with me. Does that make sense? Step 2, then I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. The reason why I want to do that to get a better picture of my mind, the type of house you're looking for. So is it okay if I ask some questions later on? I taught you a whole step called the 6-step buying process when you meet a buyer for the first time. And in that conversation is where they make a decision to hire you as either their representative or you're going to be representing the seller's best interest, not theirs. That your commitment will not be to get them their home at the best possible price, that legally fiduciary responsibility will go to the seller. I don't think any buyer would want that. But you see, the reason why buyers aren't hiring agents because they don't realize the disadvantage that they put themselves in by going from agent to agent. And the reason why they don't recognize the disadvantage is because no agent is sitting down with them like I'm telling you to do to explain it to them. That's the difference between a power agent